I want to do a quick video and just sort of try to describe what By Design Fitness and Nutrition, how it come about, and what our goal is. If you've seen some of my Facebook pictures, you know that I was a guy that was over 300 pounds, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. You've heard the story, just in terrible health. And through nutrition, God led me down a path that I was able to reverse or to cure all of those illnesses. You know, being a minister, I would pray for people quite often with the same illnesses. And I just sort of felt like, there needed to be a program or a plan. And I do believe in miracles. I've seen miracles all through my life. I've seen just all kind of things that are just unexplainable other than the power of God. But sometimes I think we're expecting God to get us out of a mess, but we're not willing to change what got us there to start with. And our eating habits are one of the biggest issues that we have in the world, or especially in the United States. Well, I went through the process of studying and did the Atkins for a while, did the low carb for a while, got into bodybuilding, doing low fat, trying to get ready for bodybuilding shows. And last year, around April, May of last year, I ran across the keto diet as I was doing research for By Design Fitness and Nutrition. and I got really excited about it. And the thing that I realized is that keto diet closely resembled, or closer than anything else in the paleo diet, resembles how we would have eaten right outside the Garden of Eden. We couldn't really consider the garden. See, we're a Christ-based program that's about restoring health through nutrition. We believe in using food as medicine. We believe in eating to live instead of living to eat. And I felt the call of God in a very strong way at the end of last year to move away from a program that I'd started called Celebrate Freedom that was booming, that helping people with addiction, and moved to this full time. And then I felt the strong call to leave my profession that I was doing. Of course, I was real stubborn, and some things had to happen in order to make that happen. So I want you to know I feel called to do this, to bring health back to the body of Christ. The big thing about us is Marilyn and I, before we even met, we walked down this road together. We accomplished our health goals the same way. She had done Weight Watchers, but ultimately what got her to where she's at today, where she was in her 230s down to the 165, 167 she is now. What led her down that path was that controlling those bad carbs. So that's pretty cool. When God calls you to something, you have a passion for it. This is a passion for me. I'm probably working 12, 14 hours a day. And it doesn't feel like work, because if you enjoy what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work, does it? Where I used to feel like I was working, right now I enjoy the text messages, looking at the food labels, helping my clients out. We're at about 25 clients now and growing. And just being not only able to minister to their health needs, but their spiritual needs also. There's a huge need. I mean, if you look at the diabetes, it's an epidemic proportion. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, fatty liver, severe joint inflammation, even depression, anxiety, cancer, heart disease, strokes. All of these are primarily based on a bad diet. And the bottom line, it's not your fault. We've been lied to. I mean, if you look at the American Diabetic Association's recommendations, they recommend you have 50 carbs per meal. Well, as long as you're eating the 50 carbs per meal, you're going to need the diabetic medicine to keep your blood sugar under control. Take it from a guy with experience. When I stopped eating the carbohydrates and limited the carbohydrates to only good complex carbohydrates, my blood sugar got in line and I no longer needed the diabetes medicine. Now, we have proven this time and time and time again. Science has proven this. Yet the American Diabetes Association still recommends that. They look at fat, the Heart Association looks at fat as being the problem. Man, that's been so disproven. The fat isn't the problem. The fat is the simple carbohydrates and the genetically modified foods that harden your arteries through inflammation. we've got a problem. It is a huge problem, and it's affecting the majority. It's affecting the quality of life. Jesus said, the thief cometh not but to kill, steal, and destroy, but I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. An abundant life cannot be described by high blood pressure, high blood sugar. I mean, the need is there. And the great thing about it is I look at the clients and I see them turning their lives around, following a plan and turning their lives around, shedding the pounds, shedding the medicine, more energy, feeling better than they ever have in their life. I see the answer coming out in front of me on a daily basis with the program that we come up with. Now, our diet is based on real similar to how we would have ate 5,800 years ago. Why did I say 5,800 years ago? 6,000 years ago, we've been in the Garden of Eden, and it wouldn't apply. So 5,800 years ago, we lived 900 years old, and apparently we were pretty healthy. And we based our plan on that. Does that mean that we don't let you have pork or shellfish? Absolutely not. Like God calls it clean, it's clean. So you're allowed to have any meat. If you want to eat rattlesnake, eat rattlesnake. No, alligator, eat alligator. You want to eat catfish, eat catfish. So that I'm not teaching a Levitical diet. What I'm teaching is a diet based on the science that controls your hormones. And it's just really, really important that you understand that this diet that we teach you controls your hormones. You got 4 hormones that play. You got insulin, ghrelin, leptin, and cortisol. 2 of those are the hunger hormones. They tell you when you're full, when it's time to eat. We have to adjust that. The other issue is I was teaching the ketogenic diet, which that's the diet that I like. That's the one that I feel like closely resembles how we would have eaten outside the Garden of Eden. But the problem is when I would throw that ketogenic diet at people, most people failed. 1 out of 10, maybe even 1 out of 20 would succeed. And when I went back and started doing some research, I realized that there was 4 problems that prevented the average person of being successful at the ketogenic diet. The biggest one is metabolism. Your metabolism is what your caloric rate that holds the weight that you're on. In other words, they did a big study on The Biggest Loser, and most of those people fail. All of them put their weight back on and even some more weight. What happens is if I have a metabolism that requires 3,000 calories a day and I cut it back to 2,500, I'm going to lose weight for a period of time, but then guess what happens? My body adjusts to 2,500 now, and I got to go to 2,200. Then I got to go to 2,000. I heard one girl said, my metabolism, my sustaining rate of calories is 1,200 calories a day. I've been on some 1,200 calorie a day diets, 1,000 calorie a day diets to get ready for bodybuilding shows, and you don't have much energy. It's not a very abundant life. It's not sustainable. What we teach is we teach a diet that adjusts that metabolism. That's the reason when you start off on this plan, we're going to put a 4-week plan together. Everybody's pretty much going to start off the same at week 1, but you'll know if you've talked to me, week 2, week 3, week 4, we're constantly tweaking it based on which food is your problem, your body type, how you've done, the weight loss. So we're constantly communicating during this first 4 weeks. And I'm constantly coaching you. You're constantly changing things. There's some people that have been with me almost a month now because we started about a month ago. And they're getting ready to the end of their month, and we've changed every week. Matter of fact, there's some that I put on 3-day plans, and then we'll adjust it and go again. Just trying to figure out, what we got to do to overcome some of the metabolism issues. The other thing is that a lot of people really don't like to talk about is sugar detox. Your brain gets used and addicted to those simple carbohydrates, the corn, the flour, the rice, the potatoes, and the sugars, stuff that spikes your insulin level. And you become addicted to that stuff. And I hear people all the time, well, I tried quitting drinking Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew. I just couldn't do it. I went crazy. I didn't feel good. And it's because what happens is if you rush into this thing too fast, it's too overwhelming to your system. So what we do with the diet is we feed you about 3,000, 4,000 calories a day to start off because I want to get your metabolism back up there. And you know what? some people eating 1,500 calories a day. I feed them 3,500 calories a day of the right food, and they lose weight. That's unbelievable, isn't it? What that tells you is the whole calories in, calories out isn't very applicable until you get to a certain percentage of body fat. Now, when you're down to 10% body fat and I got to get to 7% body fat, calories in, calories out matter. But if you're 150, 200 pounds overweight, calories in, calories out doesn't matter. So we slowly back you off. We're going to include some natural sugars those first few weeks, and we're going to back you down slowly. We're going to let you have some berries and some sweet potatoes, and you're going to have a detailed plan. You're going to eat 3 full meals, 3 good snacks a day. Every 2 to 3 hours, you're going to be putting something in your mouth. Matter of fact, I've never had a client so far that could eat all the food. I make it that way intentionally because I want you to be satiated. I want you to be full. And then the next week, we adjust the time periods that you eat, and we back up on some of the simple sugars. The same thing on the 3rd week, the same thing on the 4th week. I got some people that have been with me almost 4 weeks that are on week 2 because, it's not about slipping up and giving up. It's about slipping up, coming up with a new game plan, readjusting, and going back at it. This isn't a diet. This is a way of eating to sustain your health forever. Other big thing is the coaching. Man, you don't know how important this is. I get messages every day looking at food labels. There is so many hidden bad ingredients in food. Genetically modified waste products that they're pouring into the food that if you're not careful, it's completely counterproductive to your goals. So you got to be aware of that. I've done all the studying. I know. I'm sitting here. I do this full time, so I can respond pretty quick. Don't buy this. Don't buy that. Had a guy earlier today at Aldi's looking at the spinach, organic spinach or regular spinach. It doesn't really matter. The whole organic thing just, I don't know. The FDA so loosely regulates all that stuff. I'm not sure whether it's organic or not organic. And if I'm looking for one bag of spinach that's $4.59 and one for $1.99, I'm honestly going with a $1.99 package because I'm not sure if the other's organic or not. And so the coaching is really, really important. I had bought some keto supplements, and I had fell victim to this. And they were supposed to be a keto multivitamin, and they were real big, heavy pills, real hard to swallow, real glued together. And then I was anemic a long time ago in my early 20s or in my late 20s I was bleeding in my stomach and wasn't aware of it. If I'd have been looking at my poop would have looked like a coffee ground, and I'd have realized that was old blood, and I could have got something done about it. But the combination of the being anemic, the not sleeping much, and sitting down in front of a computer caused a grand mal seizure. So when they explained that to me that I should be looking at my poop, I always look at my poop. Well, I had paid all this money for these keto supplements, these big horse pills. I took them and I looked down in the toilet, and there they were, still whole, still together. And I got to doing some research on how those capsules were made, and I realized that, that most of them don't digest. Then I got to talking to some buddies that are in the septic tank business and said when they pull the tops off those septic tank, all the floating supplements. Started doing some more studying on supplements, and a lot of them are petroleum-based. And I started looking at some of the ingredients, especially in the Advocare stuff, just bad genetically modified fillers to fill things up. And even the protein, I want to make my own protein because I just started looking at all the ingredients that they have in there that's just not good for you. It's not health food. So you need the right supplements. Why go spend money on something that's not going to work? Are good supplements, so they cost more money? Yes. But why buy something that doesn't work? If I spend $8 on something that don't work, what good am I doing? I'm just spending $8 on nothing. And those supplements that you get at most major chains, the supplements, he said, well, I read a review. Well, you always got to look at who's writing the review. A lot of times it's the company officials. It's Weight Watchers going to have a review written by somebody on their staff that compared Weight Watchers and Nutrisystem. Guess who wins? The Weight Watcher. And then some of these studies they do, they're crazy. They're just so short term. they're not really looking at all they're worried about is having a study to support their opinion. So I've done all the research. I sell species nutrition supplements and Alaskan fish oils, and a certain female hormone supplement that I know work. And you're going to pay probably a little bit less from me than you would off Amazon, a lot less directly off the website. And my package also includes the coaching. So you got to know about the supplements. So those are the 4 things: the metabolism, the sugar detox, the coaching, and the supplements. Now let's talk about how much money does this cost to hire me as a coach. Well, right now through the end of June, or it's usually $49. Through the end of June, it's $29 for just the diet plan and access to the videos. If you want to be coached for a month, it's $79. That's a detailed diet plan. That's me and you sitting down and talking. That's us going through your medical history, us looking and coming up with a game plan together that's going to work for you. And then access to me to answer any questions. And that's us communicating on a weekly basis about how you're doing, where you're going. You can ask my clients now. I bug them. If I don't hear from you, I'm going to message you. I'm going to call you. I want to know what's going on. I am seriously committed to your health in Christ. So you got the $49 package that just gets you the diet. The $99 package we're doing for $79 that gets you the diet and the coaching. And then above that, you got a package that's $199 that gets you all the supplements you need for a month, and there is going to be some left over, plus the coaching that I'm going to be there to walk you through it. And if you price those supplements on Species Nutrition website, you're going to pay over $200 for them. So that's it. And I'll tell you what else I need. I need your help. We're off and running, but we need more clients. I'm able to take care of the ones that I got right now, and I spend a lot of time on advertising. I'd much rather be spending time. So I need you to refer people to us. Let me tell you something. You might be saving their life. How many people do you know that have died in their 40s and 50s and 60s that just wasn't through living yet because of bad choices? You know, referring someone to us could be saving their life. I hope this does a good job of describing what By Design Fitness and Nutrition is all about. We are absolutely committed to your health in Christ. Check us out on Facebook, bydesignnutrition.weebly.com. Check out our Facebook page. Our website. Check out our Facebook page, By Design. We got By Design Fitness and Nutrition. We got a Facebook group you can leave comments in, By Design Fitness and Nutrition group. You know, you can email me at bydesignfitnessandnutrition@gmail.com. You know, I'll put links with this video. And, you want to turn your life around. I appreciate you going as far to watching this video. And I know it's a little longer than I'd like to, but I wanted to describe what we were all about so you would have an idea. I promise you this. You give me the opportunity, I will do everything that I can to change your life forever. And I am very, very committed to making this work. I'm very committed to your health. And I am batting 1,000. If you work with me and we work together, you do reach your goals. Anyway, I pray that God bless you richly. The only way you can be blessed through His only born Son, Jesus the Christ.